This piece of legislation is going to make America the crypto capital of the world.
Breaking news. The U.S. House officially passes the Crypto Clarity Act in a clear majority amount of votes. And keep in mind, this was the Clarity Act. This now advances the landmark crypto bill to the Senate. The Clarity Act was the one we weren't really sure about. We knew the Genius Act was going to pass.
The Genius Act, which you noted, has passed through Congress and will be sent to the president's desk. I believe the House is voting on it. If they haven't, they should be passing it. We know we have the vote.
And that's true. The Genius Act did just pass in the House in a vote of 308 to 122, with 102 Democrats voting in favor. Again, more than expected. Another bipartisan win for crypto.
And we expect it to get to the president's desk, and we are planning a signing ceremony tomorrow afternoon.
And actually, all three crypto bills did pass. Breaking. The U.S. House passes the Anti-Central Bank Digital Currency Surveillance State Act, meaning no CBDCs in America.
As for a central bank digital currency, the president opposes that. He made that promise to the American people on the campaign, and while it's not in this specific piece of legislation, he did sign a January executive order banning a central bank digital currency. The administration supports Congress's efforts to codify that executive order into law, and I believe there will be future pieces of legislation in regards to crypto that will be moving through Capitol Hill.
So what happens now? What does this mean for crypto now? Well, let's start with the Genius Act, because the Genius Act is getting signed into law by Trump tomorrow. The Clarity Act, they just passed in the House. They now have to go through the Senate. And what the Genius Act does, which is essentially the stablecoin bill, the Genius Act could be to stablecoins what the Telecommunications Act of 1996 was to social media. Meaning if crypto was the internet, thanks to the Genius Act, we just entered 1997. I loved this explanation. Here's exactly what's about to change.
Congress is about to vote on a bill that could turn digital dollars into mainstream money. It's called the Genius Act, and this bill creates federal rules for stablecoins, digital tokens backed one-to-one by U.S. dollars and treasury bills. So here's how it works. First, only qualified issuers can create stablecoins, not just any company. Second, they have to actually be backed by U.S. dollars or other short-term treasuries, and they must be held in reserve with monthly disclosures and annual audits. Third, there's clear oversight, including making sure that everyone has to follow anti-money laundering and consumer protection rules. So why does this all matter? Why should Main Street America care about the Genius Act? Because it's the first federal playbook for using stablecoins as actual payment tools. That means businesses and developers can finally build and use stablecoins with confidence. The stablecoin market is already over $250 billion, and JP Morgan predicts it could double in 3 years. Others, they say it could triple. The impact is huge. Stablecoins let you send money 24/7, settle instantly, and cut high wire transfer or remittance fees. It truly cuts out the middleman. They unlock programmable money, automated royalties, pay-by-second services, and the list goes on. They could also create new demand for hundreds of billions in short-term U.S. treasuries.
So this stablecoin bill, the Genius Act, is not the finish line. It's the starting line. It opens up this market in a huge way, and this is really good for blockchains specifically with the largest stablecoin supplies. So this is really good for Ethereum, which right now has about half the stablecoins currently in existence. They chose the Ethereum chain for a reason. This is also good for Tron. Although Tron, and we'll get to this in a second, certain blockchains may not be looked on as favorably based on the Clarity Act. We'll get to this. But it's also great for Ethereum L2s as well as Solana. These chains are poised to do well in this pro-stablecoin in the United States environment, and it's not to say that other blockchains that are, maybe they're better in some way, and we don't find that out until years from now, this is the green light for them too. But right now, it's really these chains that have a big head start with stablecoins. And then, of course, we have the market structure bill. So while the stablecoin bill opens up the floodgates, allows the green light for big money to get in, it's really, these two really go hand in hand because it's the market structure bill that makes big money, and I mean big money, feel comfortable entering the space, which most have not done yet. Because it is this Clarity Act that plain and simple provides clarity. What is the difference between a layer 1 blockchain and an NFT? Should we regulate DeFi, decentralized finance, differently than gaming tokens and NFTs? Obviously, yes, but until those clear definitions are in the books, nobody wants to get fired. Big money's not going to enter the space if there's even a small chance that DeFi could be regulated like an NFT if it's not clear. This is coming. Again, it just passed in the Senate. No, it just passed in the House. It's now going to the Senate. And this also tells us whether it's the CFTC or the SEC who has jurisdiction on what. This is interesting. And by the way, subscribe and click the like button if you're getting value in today's video. Our data shows that 2 out of 3, 66% of viewers of Altcoin Daily are subscribers. They love it. 1 out of 3 of you still have not subscribed yet, and now is the time. This is the crypto renaissance, and it's free, completely free, 1 video per day, and I found this interesting. The Clarity Act now recognizes only 3 blockchains as likely mature under US standards, and those 3 blockchains are Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Cardano. And when they say likely mature, not that that can't change in the long run, but likely mature right now means sufficiently decentralized. These are the current blockchains that they feel are sufficiently decentralized. Here's a breakdown, and keep in mind, this is a summarization of what's in the bill. This is not the actual bill, although the bill does list only those 3 blockchains. But Bitcoin, likely mature, fully decentralized proof of work, fair distribution, no central control, makes sense. Ethereum, the second most decentralized, likely mature, with broad development and public token distribution. It is the second most decentralized. BNB chain Binance, not mature, centralized validators control, and heavy insider token allocation. Not sure about the insider token allocation. You could accuse everything that's not Bitcoin of that, but it does only have a small amount of validators by choice. That's how it can be more scalable, and it is faster, but it's more centralized. That's public knowledge. So not that this can't be changed, and in fact, the Clarity Act, I believe, will allow a path in order for your cryptocurrency or blockchain to show that you have become sufficiently decentralized. And of course, banning central bank digital currencies. What are central bank digital currencies? They are stablecoins controlled by the state or controlled by the central bank. In this case, for America, the Federal Reserve, who already controls the money. This prevents CBDCs and keeps it in private control or private businesses. Circle, Tether, they're private companies. They answer to only their CEO and their board. That is different than having the government just be in control of the money and be able to cancel or do whatever they want because they control the money. And if you like Ethereum, you'll love this. BlackRock applies to add staking to its Ethereum ETF. I think something like this will make investing in Ethereum through the ETF much more favorable because they'll be earning a percent every year. They'll be accumulating more Ethereum while just holding their Ethereum. So this will be huge. This will increase demand, I think, in a huge way for ETH once passed. And pay attention to these fundamentals. Ethereum daily transactions hit 1.4 million, the highest since 2021, meaning even though the Ethereum price hasn't reached all-time highs yet, the fundamentals are popping off like they were in 2021. Scaling upgrades plus stablecoin adoption, creating a perfect storm for Ethereum activity, fundamentals paying off. The mainstream media is not showing you things like this. I will. We know that new DEX Black Hole just hit over $50 million in total value locked in 6 days. This is huge growth. And we also know Swissborg, one of the only centralized exchanges supporting this. Ready to get black? The official governance plus utility token of the Black Hole DEX is live on the Swissborg app. So this is aiming to be one of the biggest DEXs on the Avalanche blockchain, and Swissborg is supporting. And altcoin season is coming. Breaking news. Canary Capital has filed with the SEC to launch staked Injective ETF. Do not count Injective out. Click the like button if you got value today, and like always, see you tomorrow.